Hello guys, welcome back. I'm Nyx, and today we're just going to be going through all the different Minecraft biomes and reviewing them in my totally unbiased, completely not scuffed review system. So, let's go! Side note, I'm not going to be getting into every single variant of every single biome because there are way too many, and some of them have such small differences that it would just take me forever, and you would never get a video, and it would end up being like half an hour long. So, if I miss any, that's why. Okay, so we're going to start out here in the Badlands Plateau biome. It's very red. It's, well, terracotta and sand. It is pretty cool. It looks nice. What is the official Nyx rating? Alright, next up we have the bamboo jungle. You know, it looks pretty nice. I think it is one of the nicer biomes they added to Minecraft. It's got pandas, which is beautiful. You know, just for that, 7 out of 8. Okay, on to the next one. You can tell that this rating system is absolutely accurate and not at all scuffed. Side note, there is also a bamboo jungle hills, which is literally just also this. Alright, next up we have the beach. What do you want from me? It's a beach. There's sand. It's not that interesting. Alright, next up we have the Birch Forest. I'm going in alphabetical order here if you can't tell. It's mildly interesting. It's got birch and caves and grass and flowers. Oh, and a village. So you see, it's not that boring. Let's see, what should I rate this one? 3 out of 5. Let's go to the next one, I guess. What else? Oh god, it's raining. There's also apparently Birch Forest Hills. You can tell it's very different and very exciting from the Birch Forest. I mean, wow, just look at that. Anyway, next up we have the Cold Ocean, which, it's an ocean. The only things that grow here are, well, kelp and seagrass. There's no coral or really much sand. It's mostly just gravel. I give this a 3 out of 12. What do you guys think? Yeah, 3 out of 12. Okay, next we have the Dark Forest, which I actually find quite pleasant, seeing as dark oak is my favorite type of wood, and I really love the cute little mushrooms. I mean, what more could you want? Certainly not any sort of variety or interest at all. Oh, a ravine. Oh god. We're gonna forget that ever happened. Cut that out. I mean, look, there's even a mushroom and a tree in a ravine. I mean, it's so interesting. I rate this a 7 out of 10. Alright, next we have the Frozen Ocean and the Deep Frozen Ocean. They're very different. They're not. It's got oh, it's beeping again. I mean, they've got ice. Well, they serve literally no purpose, but they've got ice, so that's nice. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. How about a 4 out of 14? Can you tell my rating is getting more and more desperate as this goes on? Anyway, next. Next up we have the Lukewarm Ocean and the Deep Lukewarm Ocean, which are remarkably similar to every other ocean. I mean, this one has sand. got kelp, seagrass, sand, gravel, and water. I can confirm it is indeed an ocean. One half out of 3 is my rating for this biome. Next we have the deep ocean, which is, you know, another ocean. It's obviously very different from the other oceans because, I mean, gravel. Next up we have a warm ocean. The color of the water is different, that's interesting. It's sandy. There's tropical fish. This one gets a 1.5 out of 5 purely because of the fish. Anyway, let's move on. As you can tell, we're in the opposite of the ocean next. We're in the desert. So, I mean, there's sand and dead bushes and cactus. It is indeed a desert, I think. Yeah, can confirm. 2/3 out of 6 is the rating for this. Next up we have a flower forest. I actually find these quite pretty. I mean, what's not to love? Trees, gravel, water, flowers of every color. It's quite a nice biome, actually. I would love to see more of it in the world. This one deserves a solid 5.5 out of 7. Next up, we've got forest. It's a very plain biome. Leaves, trees, grass. Two out of 6. If that. Maybe a 1.5. We have this frozen river, which does live up to its name. It's a frozen river. What do you want from me? Let's see. 4 out of 13 is my rating for the beautiful, beautiful frozen river. Next we have the taiga biome, which actually I don't mind too much. It's got nice trees, lakes, mushrooms, different types of terrain. It's not a bad biome. Might be able to use a little bit more terraining, but overall I actually quite like this biome. I'm going to rate this one a solid 10.5 out of 12. Now, you also have a lot of things like the giant spruce taiga hills. I'm not going to get into those. They all pretty much look like this. Explore for yourself if you're curious. I don't know, I'm just the review person here, okay? Next up we've got the gravelly mountains, which, you know, they're a little bit plain, but sometimes they form with cool features like this. There's just not really a lot to see here. Gravel and snow, and maybe some dirt. What shall I rate this? How about 3 out of 13. Alright, now we have the ice spikes biome, which is interesting. Sometimes it can get a little bit repetitive and annoying, but you've got these cool ice spikes to stand and watch things from. This actually is not a bad biome. It's very inventive, I must say. Six and 3/4 out of 8. Not too bad. Okay, next up we have the jungle. It's actually kind of a cool biome. It's incredibly dense, which can get a little annoying, but the trees are really awesome. I think the vines are, just kind of the whole terrain of it looks really nice. It's got mountains and lakes and rivers, and definitely is a lot more interesting than a lot of other biomes. Let's see. 8 out of 11. Next up we have the very common plains biome, which is definitely one of the more boring ones. It can be useful for building and finding animals, but in terms of visuals and beauty, it's pretty low down. It's grass, mostly. It gets a 2 out of 9. Alright, so we also have the Savannah and Savannah Plateau, which are not too bad. The mountains are really cool, although it can be a little bit boring considering the grass color and, you know, red trees. It's not so bad overall. I give it. You also have the Shattered Savannah, which I don't really have a good view of right now, but it's actually one of my favorites, even though it's technically a biome variant. It is really awesome. The mountains can reach up to 200 blocks tall, and it's definitely one of the most creative that I find in Minecraft. That gets a solid 11 out of 12 for me. Next up, we've got the snowy variant of a lot of different places. You've got plains, mountains, taigas, and basically it means they took the biome and covered it in snow, which does make it look nice, although it may not be the most creative. So snowy variants get four out of 10. Next up, we've got the swamp, which is not my favorite, or anyone's favorite, although it does look very realistic. I do kinda hate it. It's just gross. So goes for a 3 out of 11. Finally, we have the wooded variants of different places. Like these are the wooded hills. You've got wooded badlands and wooded mountains, which are really just biomes with trees slapped on them. So not the most creative. Some of them do look nice. The wooded variants get 4 out of 10.5. I hope you enjoyed me rating most of the overworld biomes with my definitely not completely biased review system. If you'd see me do more go back over the ones I missed or from the other dimensions, tell me in the comments, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.